want to show you something. Hold on. Okay, what's left? Let me dimension the internal walls. Okay, so internal walls will come to this spot. Click the edge. Okay, these internal walls that serves this. I have to take this and create this too. Okay, I have this. I have this. I have this. I have this. Okay, let me take this. This is a closet. Let me take this 1.2 meter. Okay, this 900. I have this. I have this. I have this toilet. Let me put a capture on it. Okay, dimension. I have here. I have here. I have here. I have here. Okay, check to be sure that all areas are well dimensioned. It's very important. Let me dimension this. I want this to be dimensioned, so I'll put it here. Okay, 5.1 meter. I have this. I have this. Now you can see I don't have this. More reason why you need to check carefully to make sure all areas are dimensioned. I'll bring this here. I'll bring this. I'll take it outside because of space, so I'm gonna drag this a little bit. Okay with that. So I have all angle dimension. Now you can see that all my angles are dimensioned. So the next thing I'm going to dimension right now is the detail of the columns. If you check from the stuff I showed you, I have column design, so I'm going to detail them. Now there's a column here. There is a column here, so I'm going to detail this to help the engineer on site get the job done. So there's a column here. I'll put it here. Okay, so I'll come to this spot. I'm going to detail this spot, this design. I'll detail this design to help whosoever that is going to construct this project to do it firmly without error. So there is another one here. I'll put it here. I'll just move this to this spot. Okay, now you can see I have 750 millimeter and I have 300 millimeter, and what is here is what is here. So I have another column here. You can see I have a column here, so I'm just going to put this down. I have a column here, 600. Then I have another column here. Okay, let's put the other column here. I'll paste it here. Sorry, my bad. Okay, I have another column here, so I'm going to take this and take this. I'll paste it here. Okay, so I'll bring this to the spot so you can be able to see it very well. Perfect. So you can see you have to indicate what is here is what is here, so I don't need to come into all this place. So after creating all your indication, you dimension the external part of the building, the full external part of the building. That's what you're going to dimension, because this is what will be used for the squaring. You see, I have 13.2 meter. So if you want to plot this building on ground, you're going to look for a square of 13.2 meter with a square of, let's check what we have here, with a square of 16.597, which is very important. This spot is very important. More reason why you have to be careful when you're doing your dimension. So I'm going to dimension here as well. I'm going to dimension here as well. So I'll paste it here. Then I'll dimension here again. I'll pick this part. Then I'll come down to this part because this is the longest part of it. So I'm going to dimension this as well and paste it here. Now you can see there is an error. I have 13.2 meter here and I'm having 13.7 here. So the question is, where did I make the mistake? That's from here. I didn't pick from here to this spot. More reason why I told you that you have to be very careful when you're doing your dimensioning. Very careful. You see, that was the error. So I'll take this first one down. Okay, take it down. So now the next thing we're going to do is foundation layout. You know, your dimension is complete. You've detailed this building plan completely. So the next thing you need right now is your foundation layout. So for you to do your foundation layout, I have to take this off. I'll take this off. I'm going to duplicate a copy of this. I'm going to duplicate a copy of this so I can be able to work with it. So I'll move a copy here. Okay, Perfect. So I'm going to do my foundation layout. Now, first thing before you go into that, you have to consider your block thickness. My block thickness in this design is 150 millimeter. Let me show you my block thickness is 150 millimeter. Okay, you can see it very well. My block thickness is 150 millimeter. Now, if you're doing your foundation layout, there are some engineers on site that takes their plotting from edge to edge. Let me quickly show you something like that. Let me open a page to show you what I mean by that. Hold on, let me look for something similar to what I just want to show you. Engineer Mike got a project for this guy, I think so. New. Okay, hold on, I'm with you. Foundation layout, that should be 03. Let's check this out together. Hold on guys, just want to check something. 03 is what? Let's say 03 or 04. Let's see. Okay, perfect. You can see we have, let me create a zoom so you can see what I'm doing. Where is my zoom? Okay, let me create a zoom so you can see it very well. Okay, now you can see this is what is called foundation layout. This is what we call foundation layout, where you create the labels and where you create the guideline in order for whosoever that want to plot this building to do it perfectly without stress. This is a job I did. So these are the foundation layout, and this foundation layout, this spot, you have to be very careful when you're doing it, because if you made a mistake, it's very, very difficult to correct, because there are some engineers that works with this internal part of it, like this internal labeling. Why me, if I'm the one plotting this building on ground, I just get my internal square, my 4 side square. Then the next thing I do is for me to go with my in dimension, like 3.7 meter by 450 meter. That's how I do my plotting normally. Then if I'm doing a column job like a story building, that is when I work with this guide. So why there are some people who will come, they'll take the first A, they'll take from the A to the next one is 1.350 meter, then they'll take from B to C is 0.300. This is how they plot it. So that is more reason why you need to be very careful when you're doing this ground floor plan, so which is foundation layer. So let's go. So since I have a block wall of 150 millimeter, the center of my block wall is going to be 7. Let's check that up. Let's just say the center of my block wall is going to be 750 centimeter. I'm going to show you that center of my block wall. Okay, so you divide the 150. I don't want to rush, do it in a professional way. I want us to work it together. Now we're going to divide the 150 millimeter by 2. That is 750 centimeter. So let's put 750 being the center. Then I'll create a guide here. I'm trying to use this as a guide too, so I'm going to delete this particular line. Okay, now I have what I want now. So the next thing I'm going to do, I prefer using a black line for this. So I'm going to click the center of this, because this is my starting point. Then I'll drag it all the way straight up to a spot like this. Okay, I'll let go. Sorry, I was supposed to use a single line. Okay, I'll take a single line. I'll come back here. I'll create a line here. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to move this line upward. Let me show you what I want to do. I'm going to move this line upward. Let's say I'm going to move this line upward. Okay, so a good height. I'm going to cut it later. I'm just trying to show you how to work your foundation layer. Now, what do I need next? I need to duplicate this line. That's more reason why you see I have my guide here and I have my guide here. So for you to do a perfect job, I recommend you group these two icons together. Then you create multiple copy of it. Let me show you. Remove multiple copy of it, drag multiple copy. Now you come to this end point, you pick it up, you go to all the places that need this guide, you paste it there. Later you edit everything. You see this angle, let's see, this angle need it. Okay, then there is a wall here, you go here, you paste it at all the important walls that need it. That is more reason why I told you to group it, so you don't need to make a mistake. You just paste it at the spot. You can see I'll just come down here, I paste it here. Automatically it's at the center because I have a guide. You can see I have a guide, so automatically that is at the center. So I'll paste it here because there is a wall here. Okay, I'll paste it here because I have another wall here. Okay, so this wall is not important and this wall is not important, but you can decide to put it if you want, but it's going to be so cloudy, so I don't need that wall. So I'm going to paste it here because it's important too. So where else am I putting it? Okay, I have another wall here. Just make sure you look for all the important walls, all the walls that are very important. You have to look for them, all of them. So I'll paste it here. This toilet wall is really not important because I have another wall there and I have another wall here. Okay, I'll just paste one here, then I'll leave the toilet wall. I'm going to leave this wall because if I put one here, put one here, put one here, I can't get the dimension at the center. So I'm going to skip one because it's not necessary. So I'll come down here. Where else do I need? Okay, everything is gone. So I'm going to let this go. Then I'll begin to move them one after the other. First, I'll delete. I will ungroup it. First, I'll ungroup. Okay, so I can be able to delete this off. So after that, I'll move this up to my height. First, let's create a line. Let's create a straight line to make our head. Okay, now everything should come to this spot. I want all the lines to touch this spot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this up to this, then I'll ungroup this. I'm going to ungroup everything you grouped so you can be able to delete the internal lines we use in creating the design. So here I'm just going to cut here to fit in, then I'll take this up. Okay, I'll take this up, then I'm going to ungroup this likewise. Okay, so I can be able to remove this one. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Okay, sorry, I have to ungroup that too. I'm going to ungroup this. Okay, okay, then I'll come here. So this is the process, guys. You don't really need to rush your detailing. These are why architectural jobs are very expensive, because it requires a lot of time and effort to it. You need to dedicate a lot of time to it. So because if you rushed it because you know we're paid, you might end up doing a bad job. So whenever you're charging your project, carefully charge your project. And I pray that good client that understand the worth of what you want to do comes your way. So you see, we have all this. You need to ungroup, then drag all to your preferred height. Okay, let me just ungroup the whole of this tree at the same time. Let me go this way, ungroup, come here, ungroup. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this off, then I'm gonna bring this. So this is just what you have to do. Just repeat the process all through. You just have to repeat the process all through. You see it very well. Okay, always remember to save your project. Okay, so you just have to repeat the same process. I'll bring this upward to this spot. Okay, I guess this needs ungrouping because there is a line on it. Let me check. Okay, this is not bad. So I'm gonna ungroup this. You just have to carefully detail this project very well. Detail, because the little mistake you're gonna make doing your detailing is gonna affect getting what you design to fit into what is expected of it. So don't rush your detailing. I'm not going to fast forward the video. I'm just going to take it slowly so you can be able to get everything that I want you to get. Don't rush it. Don't rush your detailing, because the moment you do, you're going to lose a whole lot. The moment you rushed it, you're losing a whole lot. Trust me, guys. So let's say we have this, what else are we looking for? We're looking for this has to come up. okay, to this, then we ungroup. We take this off. Okay, take this off. Sorry, I've not ungrouped. Let me ungroup first before taking that off. Okay, ungroup. So come here, take this off, and I trim to fit in to my line guide. Then I'll come here. This is the last one, so I'm not going to ungroup this. I'm going to ungroup this, then also copy it and keep it, because I have to do the other part of the project. So I'm just going to create a copy of this. I'm going to create a copy of this. I'm going to show you how we're going to use it later. So I'll take this off. Okay, then I'll drag this up to this. Okay, so I guess that's okay. We have one here too that needs to come up. So we're going to take this up, then we ungroup. Okay, then we delete this. Now you can see, guys, we have all the upper parts right where we want it. This is the project. You can see this is a guide. These are the center. These are the center. These the parts you need to be very careful. Don't rush these parts. You can see very well. This line is indicating this wall. Then this line is indicating this wall. Then this line is indicating this wall. So after this, just move this backward, move this to the down part of it, move this to the down part of it, so you can be able to work on the down side of it. So let's put this here. Okay, then we don't need all this, so we just need to put your hand on your control key, then cut, then left click, so you can be able to cut. Control, then left click to cut it off. Just cut to fit in. Let's cut this, cut this. Okay, you cut this off, you cut this off. Okay, so we have it right where we want it. Now the next part is going to be this part, so let's rotate this. You know, I copied one, so that's what I'm going to rotate right now. I'm going to rotate this. I'll rotate this to this spot. Okay, so I'll move it. When you want to move, click this angle. Don't just click any places. Click where you want to paste to an existing wall. You can see this is what I just did. You click where you want to paste. So I'm going to move, drag multiple copies of this. I'll click it at the spot. Then I'll look for the nearest wall that needs it. This one needs it. I'll paste it here. Now this one needs it because I have more space, so I'm going to paste it here. But this wall is not necessary because this is like a false wall. But if you have space to work with it, then you can paste it. But if you don't have space and you don't want it to be congested, then you let it slide. So now which wall needs it? This wall needs it, so I'm going to paste it here. You look for all your walls that have space between them, and the ones that are very, very important. Even if there is space or there is no space, once you find out that that wall is important, paste it. Paste a guideline on it. So you can see I'll drop it here. Okay, so I'll come here, I'll drop in another one here. Okay, I need these two because I have space. Then I'm going to drop this here because I have space. Likewise, then I'll come to this spot, I'll drop one here. Then I'll come to this spot. This is very, very important. I'll drop it there. Then I'll come to this spot. Whoa, this is more important. Then I'm going to drop this here. Then I'll come here, I'll drop this here. I'll come to this spot. Okay, I'll come to this spot, I'll drop this here. Now I'm looking for a way to drop one here, and which is very important because that's the external wall. So I guess that is all. Okay, so you need to repeat the same process of arranging it. That's what you need to do right now. Same process of arranging it. And since you want to do that, we just take away this line and create a new line here. We just create a new line here to help create a guide. Then we'll create another new line here to help create another guide here. Okay, so you just make these two lines solid. I want to make them solid so that it can be easy for me. Okay, so I'll take this to touch the margin. I'll look for where the external, then I'll delete because I don't need it. So I'll bring this again. You click the next line, you drag to touch the margin, you look for the guide on it, you delete. So you take this line again, you bring it here, you look for the guide on it, you delete. Okay, you see we have omitted this line. I told you to be very careful. You see, I didn't put on this line, and this line is very important. So I'm going to first of all look for it and look for the guide. Then I'm going to create a copy of this. Okay, create a copy of this. I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, just got it there. So I'm going to delete this, then I'm going to trim this to fit in. Okay, so the next is this. Bring this to the spot, then I'll look for the guide, then I'm going to delete. I'm not going to fast forward this like I did on the dimension. We're going to work this step by step so you know what I'm doing. So I'm going to bring this to the spot, you look for the guide and delete. Okay, so the next thing is this touching it already. It's just for us to look for the guide and delete. Okay, you look for this guide, you delete. There is a wall here, so you can see I'll bring this here. Okay, so I'll look for the guide of that wall. This is the guide, then I delete. I'll come here, I'll bring this here, I'll look for the guide. Always look for the guide to delete so you don't confuse the engineer on site. Whatever you're designing, put the engineer on site into consideration, because whatever you do is going to affect he or she very well. So your detailing should be very careful and your detailing should be neat. The detailing should be well interpreted in a way that a professional doesn't need to struggle to get it done. So more reason why I told you to pay attention to this class. Put in your best shots to this channel, because this channel is going to solve all your problems in architecture and detailing. So now we're going to take this, we'll drag this to this. Okay, now we'll come here, we'll look for this line. There is we'll delete. Okay, perfect. So what's next? Next is this. We'll bring this here, we'll look for the line and we'll delete. Okay, so you see guys, we have it right where we want it. So the next thing is to work on this like we always do. So we're going to trim this angle off. You put on your control key, then you right click, control key, you right click to get this part off. Okay, we get this, got this, got this, got this, got this. Okay guys, you can see very well our plan is coming out greatly. It's coming out greatly. So the next thing we're going to look for is the labeling. We have two choices. Let me show you. You can either use A on this side and numbers on this side. You can use alphabet on this side and numbers on this side. So depending on which side is longer. So you know alphabet is made up of 24. So when you want to create this part, you use the shorter part for alphabet, then you use the longer part for numbers, so you don't run out of alphabet. And you know, when you get to Z, instead of there's no other alphabet apart from Z, you now write ZZ. That's crazy though. So you're going to use it this way. Save your project always. So the next thing we need now is to copy this test. We'll copy this test tools, this particular test, we'll create a copy of it here. Okay, so we're going to make this shoulder side A. Let's change this to A. Okay, I think we should go with black. Let's change the front. Let's put this to black. Okay, so it will be easier for us. Now what do we need now? First, let me reduce this. Okay, then I'll create a side. I need a cycle on it. I need a cycle on this. I need a cycle on this. So I'm going to create a cycle. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to group these two elements together because they are one body. So I'm going to group these two elements together. Then I'll create a copy of it. I'll drag multiple copy of this. Okay, first you drag before you edit the alphabet. So I'm going to drag multiple copy of this. Now I want to paste it there, but there's an error because it's not going to be on a straight line. So I'm going to drag from this because I want it to be on a straight line. I want to drag from this so I can use the guideline like this. Let me show you. You can see, so I can use this guideline to get what I want. So you see it very well, so that everything will be on one shape. You can see I have a guide here. I have another guideline here. Okay. Okay, so you're just going to paste them here one after the other, just like that. Okay, paste it here one after the other. Okay, then you paste the last one here. So after this, okay, so you don't need this. Ouch, my bad. Okay, so now what do? You edit. You just click the box, this B, this C, okay, this D, E, okay, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Okay, so after doing this, guys, what is on the ground side is same thing with what's on the up is same thing with the ground. So I just create a copy of this. I'll copy this, bring it to the spot and paste it here. Perfect. You see, that's done. I got the downside. So the next thing is my dimension. I'll bring this my dimension tools. I'll pick it here. So I'm going to pick all these spots. These are the spots I want to pick. Pick all the spots. You see it. You pick all the spots because I want to do my dimensioning. Pick all the spots. Okay. Carefully. Don't rush. Carefully pick all the spots. I want to dimension the in to in of it. Okay, so I'll take this, I'll paste it there. Perfect. I'll bring this down. I'll bring this down to the spots. It comes down again to the spot. I'll take this upward. The finite dimension has to be at the upside. Okay, now you can see that this line is SS, so I'll bring this here. I'm going to take this down. This has to come down to this. Okay, you can see it. This has to come down to this. Let's let it go up a little. Okay, now what do? We cut this off. We cut all this off to go back to the way we want it. Back. Okay, I told you that was on the ground is same thing with was on the upper side, so I'll just pick this and copy this down. I'll just create a copy of this backward. That's what I'll just do. I'll create a copy of this backward. then I'll change it to face the other direction, then I'll move it here. Okay, you see I'm okay with it. So the next thing I'm going to do is same thing that I did before. I'm going to drag this, all this, and take it up a bit to the spot, then I'll cut all this off. You repeat the same process on the other part of it, the right hand side and the left hand side. So we're going to do it together, guys, don't be scared. So I'll come here. Okay, you see we have it. Always remember to save your project because it's very important. So we have this. Then what do? We need this now. First, before we work on this, I suggest we drag it down a bit. So guys, I'll bring it here. I'll move this to this spot. Okay, I'll paste it there. So like I always do, I'll create a copy of it. I'll drag multiple copies. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to give me the like thumb. Don't forget to drop a comment. Anything you want us to teach, just say it. There is already a request on demo roof. Yeah, I think so. I saw it, but I've been busy. So after this class, I'm dropping that immediately. Sorry for the guy who requested for it. I'm going to drop it immediately, or probably I'll drop it on the next class before I end this class. So don't be angry, it's still coming up. Keep on sending me your requests and I'm going to get all of it done. So I'll come here, create this. Okay, I'll create here, then I'll put the last one here. Okay, so label, you change the label. Here is going to be 1, 2. We're using numbers here. Now you see at this point you have to drag this upward a bit, then bring this down a bit so you can be able to have space for it. This should be 7, I think. 8. I have the 9 here. I have the 10 here. We have the 12 here. So we'll repeat the same thing here. We'll bring this down. We'll bring this down too. Okay. This still have to come down. Okay. So we have the 13 here. We have the 14 here. Then we have the 15 here. Okay. So here we have the 16. Okay, so we delete this line because we don't need it anymore. So we trim this to 15. We trim this to 15. We trim all this to 15. Okay, we trim this to 15. We trim this to go in. Okay, this comes here, this comes here. We take this down, this down, this down, this down. Okay. Okay, so we'll take this down. Now what do? We bring this here. I want to copy it. I want to copy that stuff I did. Okay, I'll bring this here. I'll create a copy of this. I'll move it this way. I'll move it this way. I'm okay here. I'll take this down because I don't need it. I'll take this down. I'll take this, take this, take this down, down. Okay, down, 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 down. Okay, carefully guys. make sure you're getting your job done accurately. So this is done. The next thing is my dimension. Like we always do, we pick out all the spots we need. Don't forget, guys, pick out all the spots we need here. Okay, you see this is wrong. You can see why I told you to be careful. I was supposed to click here and not here, so I'm going to click here, then I'm going to unclick this. To unclick a dimension, you just put your hand on shift key, then you click the spot back, so it's going to take it away. So I'm going to click this, then I'll take this, then I'll take this, then I'll take this. Okay, so another error. Be careful, guys. This is the more reason why I didn't want to fast forward this video. Be careful when you taking your dimensions. It's very important, because it's where you click, that's where you're gonna dimension. So when you're taking your dimension, always be careful with it. Okay, so I'll drag it backward, bring it backward to the spot, then I'll take this to the spot a little bit. Okay, so I'll create a copy of this backward, I'll paste it here, I'll change it facing this side. Okay, so guys, check it out. Always remember to save your project. Okay, you can see we now have our foundation layouts. We have our foundation layouts. You can see these are foundation layouts, one step at a time. This is our foundation layout, just like you see it here. These are foundation layouts. You can see everything is well detailed. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. So the next thing you're going to do here is to create a line here. You create a solid line here, you increase the size of the line. Let's say you can make the line thicker to this, then you draw it at the center, just at the spot. You let it go. You take your arrow sign, you take this particular sign here, you can use it on the fill. I like using it on the fill sign. You come to the spot, you make this black stops, you come here, you make this black stop. So you just create a fill line here, you create a fill here. Okay, you copy this fill, take it to this angle, paste it here, delete this. Okay, now this is the foundation layout, guys. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Our next class is going to be on, let's say, these are the things that made up a bungalow. We have 1, 2, 001, 01, 002, 02, 003, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 010. Let me show you 001. I'm going to show you everything, guys, because I really want us to work together as a team on this project. You can see, let me show you one. This is the front page. This is the front page. You can see it very well. We'll come into this part. Then let me show you the 001. Let me show you what is 01. Then 01 is the architectural drawing. You can see it very well. Then let's say 02. Let's check 02. Okay, 02 is the arrangement. That's 02.